Yes, welcome to Women in Academia webinar. And it is all great to meet again after a while. And it is really nice to meet again. And normally, as all you know, we were in COVID situation for last 2 years, and now it is almost losing its impact in the whole world. So we are a bit happy about that. But then this war situation affected a lot to all of us. And in such hard situations, we believe it is always good to be together, to unite somehow. It is not possible all the time to meet face to face, but this online webinars is a great opportunity for all of us. And this week, as you know, we are together to talk about some serious issues about women in academia. And it will be actually a spontaneous talk. And I would like to thank you for all the participants who attended and who are with us today. As you know, this issue always, this women in academia issue or the women in the work environment issue always in a discussion, and especially in such week, at the first week of March, we can see such kind of news everywhere. But later, this level of discussions or the talk or gets decreased somehow, but it is always nice to share our thoughts and to discuss what is the situation, what could be done for the future progress, because the women have made great gains in higher education, especially since we will talk about the issue in academia, are now earning more degrees than men, and especially when we look at the research results, almost half of the percentage of bachelor's degrees now conferred to women. And also women now compose at least half of the college educated workforce. While these acknowledging gains made in numbers of women, it is equally also significant to address the challenges women continue to confront, because women hold the least senior administrative positions and are the lowest paid among higher education administrators. And so this picture is starker for women of also color, for different ethnic groups or religious groups. So there is also some discrimination when we look at from that perspective. So we can say women academicians have made their mark in the different higher educational institutions right across the world, especially as it concerns recruitment and training. Notwithstanding, they continue still face challenges with regards to combining their professions and their family obligations as well. And now today, we would like to talk about what is your opinion or what you have experienced in your own academic work. Also, it is great to see some male colleagues with us, because it is also important for us to maybe listen their ideas and their thoughts about that. And the biggest issues, still the biggest constraints in women in academia they are underrepresented in academia, especially is in tenured positions, because these gender issues still exist. And though this can also affect men. I would like to raise the first question to listen to your ideas and opinions, especially, what are the key challenges for you you have experience in academia, or for male colleagues, what they can think the main challenges women mainly experienced in academia. So what can you say? Hello, Tamara. It is nice to see you. And would you like to start?
Shall I?
Yeah, sorry for being a little late. Yeah, I can start, but I think I'm in a slightly different position because, for example, I don't have children. And I think in many cases, one challenge for women in academia, but in any other job, basically, is that you have to juggle family and children, etc. So I'm not saying I'm lucky in that sense, but at least I haven't experienced this issue. The first thing that came to my mind when you were talking is that I remember the time when I was asked to be the head of department, and well, more than 10 years ago. And my first reaction was that no, I'm not interested, because I'm not interested in administration and I'm not interested in titles and positions. And then my second reaction was that, do I have any male colleagues who would reject this promotion? No, probably no. And then I realized that, okay, so I should say yes, basically to represent all the female colleagues in the department, and then make sure that, well, I tried to do a good job, and I hope I have done a good job. But it was interesting, this reflection that, okay, I say that no because I'm not interested, but none of my male colleagues would say no because they would be interested for the position, for the power, for the influence, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for your thoughts. And you have been in that position for how many years now?
Oh, for ages, for 16 years, yeah.
Wow, 16 years.
Long time. Yeah. And I have been like lots of other things in the meantime, like head of institute, different institutes, etc. But then at the second, third, etc. time when somebody asked me to have any kind of official position at the university, I didn't hesitate. But the first time, and it wasn't even hesitation. It's not that, yeah, I was also a bit unsure if I could do a good job. The imposter syndrome, that you never believe you're good enough. But no, my first reaction was really that it's a title and it's a lot of administration. And I don't care about administration. And I realized that it's much more than administration, of course. And I can also have an impact on how the department is going to work. But like I said, I don't think any of my male colleagues would have hesitated even for a second. But that might be just my male colleagues. So I'm sure that there are lots of men as well who don't like administration, who don't like this kind of jobs, and consider them really as a job and not necessarily as an opportunity. So more as a responsibility than an opportunity. Okay, but I would like to let other people talk as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, it is also nice in IATSE, we have mainly more female members as well. And it's also see to, for example, especially Enrico and Desmond and Ali and all the other male colleagues, they encourage especially women and females to have the positions as the director. And I think this is something privilege for EATSA. So we are somehow lucky as well. And it is also great to see many female colleagues are in EATSA. They are somehow in the director positions, leader positions, and they are really doing great things as an influence to the students at university or other ladies. And for example, Madhuri now, she is a director of her department, and I would like to listen her words as well about that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kevsar. First of all, I thank ESTA and our president, Dr. Enrico, for having me here. And it is always lovely to be in this particular forum of ESTA family. For me, like Tamara said, I have been looking to Tamara since a very, very long time. We had met in Portugal, and I'm always seeing her as a very strong woman. And I knew that she was a director since a very, very long time. And I see lots of her posts and everything, very, very lively person. So looking to the elders, or the seniors, we also have some motivation to do. Like I've taken charge as a director just before 1 month. But let me tell you, earlier, like Tamara, I was also like, what about my research? What would happen? But really, for me, I'm handling both the things, especially the timings, and I'm doing every day is learning, and I'm enjoying it like anything, And especially one of the aims which I have kept in the department for myself in the coming tenure is that I will be definitely empowering the women, because they are not having the scope yet here in India. Especially in the field of like tourism, the admissions which we get, It is just 30 to 30% of female and the others are male. And still here, there is a stereotype by the parents also that how women are going to work in tourism industry. So I really want to look forward into brushing up that stereotype and more women coming in the tourism industry, because I'm very much sure that they're having all the qualities in doing so. In this forum, as the topic is issues and challenges for women in academia, I would like to raise a very important issue that is relating to research, women and research. Like I've been reading some research papers for some another lecture, and I went through a very important, a very good paper that is a systematic bibliographic review about seeking gender equality in tourism sector. It was written by Professor Noila Almedema and Joseph Roybert. Sorry for pronouncing it maybe wrong, but these are the professors who have written a very good review about the women and gender equality and research. Here it mentions that academic research field of tourism has inequalities, definitely, and gendered processes privilege men in tourism research. Now here, a very alarming note which I would like to make over here is that gender papers, they tend to attract less citations. Okay, I'm talking about the papers which are published in good journals, very, very good journals. Even when published in high ranked journals, they are having less citations, and you will be surprised to know the figures that only 40% of the papers, 40% of the papers which are related to women and tourism or gender equality or similar topics, only 40% of the paper 40% of the papers are totally uncited, and less than 10% studies on gender appear in gender and feminist studies journal only. Now, this is what I was thinking of taking, this point as a discussion further. And one more thing is that what I have observed is that since 1996 to 2021, we are having 25 years of research in academia, which is related to tourism. And it has been noted that we are having only 92 papers. Okay, and maximum were in 2020, we were having 26 papers. So you can just imagine each year, good papers which are related to women and tourism, these are only 1, 2, or 3, maybe something like that. And the number is, of course, in 2020, as we have seen, it is 26 papers, but I don't think so the number is more. So here in this forum, I would really like everybody is in academics over here, and maybe some from the industry. So I urge the women academia in this webinar to discuss on this particular issue, like what could be the probable suggestions for that? How do we bring the tourism research which is related to women in a forefront? Like one of my suggestions which came to my mind is that why don't we, yes, definitely we have to think about the citations, but we can promote the PhD students and the students of master's degree for their dissertation to take such topics, right? Take topics which are related to this and work on this and let it get published. I think more publications are needed. So what do you think about it? What would be the probable solution? Because as an academician, as a researcher, I feel this is a very important point to be discussed.
Yeah, actually, you raised an important issue. I think it is a good solution to encourage students, PhD or master's students, to write about women issues or focus such kind of issues in academia or in work environment or in tourism sector, because in Turkey also we have the same problem. Still, families, they don't want their daughters to be in the field of tourism because they don't think that it is a really good job for the ladies, because they will work in the hotels, etc. And they know that to become a director or leader in the tourism sector, it is a really, really difficult and they have to overcome so many obstacles, etc. So they don't think they are so powerful enough for this. This is also another issue. But for example, in especially I am also dealing with projects in international area, in Erasmus projects, in EU projects. For example, the European Union Commission puts a rule, and they always want to see a gender equality plan in each project, and they would like to see the distribution, equal distribution among the ladies and females and males. And this is one of the rules. For example, maybe also we need to influence the maybe journal editors or in some forums to give equal chance to such issues to be published, or we have to have some special issues in some of the journals. We can raise more awareness about women issues, etc. We have such special issues to take more papers, etc. Maybe this could be another solution.
Yeah, it's a very good solution.
Mm-hmm.
And we really, students, when I asked the PhD students to take a topic related to women, they said, no, ma'am, we don't want to do the citations are very less, right? So I said, this is a problem. You have to think about the problem. You have to develop a proper statement of problem. Why are you thinking about citations? Once you write good paper, you will get citations. But still, this is the scenario which we really need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally agree with Dr. Kevsar that we need to approach editors, right? So that some kind of equality must be there, at least in this research field.
Yeah, yes. And what about your opinion, Yanki?
Okay, so hi everyone. Good to see all of you, even though just in the flat screen. Okay. I also agree with Madhuri that we need to raise this topic, about gender in tourism, and then make it a very good. We have to find the students who can write very good articles, so that of course it will be cited, or else nobody will read, of course. And I just want to share that women in academia, because I just joined as an academia after I was a practitioner. So I was working as a practitioner before, and finally I became a lecturer, and I really enjoy become a lecturer because as if I find my passion. I can take care of my student as if they are my own children. And then later on, when they already graduate, and they can become my friends or my colleague, or friends to discuss the real world, because they are the one are in the industry. So we always keep in touch with them. And another was that interesting was that environment as an academician is that most of my students in the master degree, because in the master degrees usually they're already married. So when they take the master degree, then they become how do you say that? So they have another children and another children and another children, because I think the academia, academy environment make them more relaxed, because they can learn a lot of things, so they get relaxed. So not only my students who are women, but also those who are men, and they will have another children. So that means academia environment is really very, very interesting, for both women and men. But for for women, of course, we enjoy that, because if women can get a higher degree, then they can take care a good education also for their children. Because usually in Asia, especially in Asia, we are the one who should take care more on the for the children, right? Men, they are looked for the bread as a breadwinner, and women, even though we already have a higher position, still the children even look for the mom, right? Not for the, if they have problem, they will look for the mom. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's why we should raise this gender issue, not only in academia, but also in tourist study especially. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Yankee, for your opinions and thoughts. And Mona, would you like to say something about this and the situation in Iran, or as a whole world?
Hello, everybody. I'm happy to see you again face to face. It's good for opportunity. Thank you, Kevser and Enrico, for this opportunity for all of us to discuss about the challenges, women challenges in academia situation. I think it is a good chance for me to say for you about a result of a research that was conducted in Iran around 2 years ago. You know, in Iran, during the recent decade, the number of students and women students and women professor and lecturer in the academic atmosphere is increasing. And when I started studying university around 30 years ago, in the class, we 60 people. The number of the class was 60 people, and just 9 girl was in that class. But now, especially in architecture and urban design and some other human studies, the number of the girl students are so much more than in comparison with the boys. In some of classes, we have just 2 or 3 boys. And it's not good for me, because I think we need a balance. By the way, now in Iran, the number of the population of women in academic area is 30%. By the way, the situation of the women in the best level, in the high level of education, is not good. Because of this, around 2 years ago, one of my friends, she is a retired professor of University of Tehran, Dr. Jaleh Shadi Talab. She is very sensitive in gender studies, and she established the Center of Women Studies in University of Tehran around 40 years ago. 2 years ago, she started a research for the Ministry of Science about the position of the women in academic situation in Iran. The main question was about what's the situation, what's the quality of women in the high level position in academic levels. And the second step was about the why this situation is not good. The first, I note some of the best results about this subject. In 5 reasons, she tried to show us the main reason about this problem. The first one is the not so useful policy changes to promote women. And the policy cannot be not change anything for changing the position. The role of the women now is very active, is very effective. I think Tamara, can explain for you about the role of the girls and women and also Yankee, because they had experience in the universities of Iran. The role of the girls is very active and very powerful in the process. By the way, in the level of this managing and the high level of the managing something, it's very, it's not belong to women. It's related everything, all decision related to the men. The second reason was about weaknesses of education. There is some problem about the quality of education, quality of teaching, and also there we don't have integration in about the evaluators. It's not good. Everything is related to the person want to decide about this faculty and this university. We don't have a good integration for all the rules. And the third one is about objectively, because the capacity, I think, check the Persian because it's not good. Sorry. About the capacity, there is some different interpretation in each places, and each person can interpret the capacity, and it's not good for the women. And also there are the definition and concept about the upgrading the level of the women is not clear. It's not clear, and it can be changed for in each person. And the fourth item is about the structure in upgrade process. The process of the upgrading is not good, and it's very, the power of the men is very high in this process, and it's the role of the women in the decision and in this process is very weak. And the last one is about the regulation, employee regulation. It is very general. The employee regulation is not gender sensitive, and it can affect on the women's situation in the academic atmosphere of Iran. By the way, I think because some reason I can by myself add to this reason, and it's related to the women. Like some explanation of Tamara and Yankee and Kevser, I think some roles of the women as a mother and a wife, they have some responsibility in the family, and many times they don't like to have a better quality, a high quality in the job position, because they prefer to have more time with family. And it can be added to this result. for why we cannot have a good situation about the women in the level of academic in Iran. Thank you so much.
Sorry. Thank you, Mona, for your valuable findings about the research and the things now, what is going on in Iran in terms of this, because it is also important to be here from different parts of the world to see the women's and to listen to them, to maybe we can learn some good samples, exercises, or, you know, how we can adjust this to our working environment, etc., and how to encourage more our students or create such kind of equity environments in academia as well. And Maureen, would you like to say something about that issue?
Yes. Well, first, thank you for organizing this this webinar. It's really nice to see everybody again, because the last time was a few months ago, I think, last year. So yeah, it's a good occasion to gather together again. And from my point of view, I mean, I wanted to react to a point that has been addressed by several of the members today. Especially from my point of view, because I am at the beginning of my career as a researcher. And so it's like researcher careers in general are getting more and more precarious. Like it's difficult to get a tenure job, a position, I mean. So more and more as a young doctor, you have to how to say, work on different short-term projects, and it delays the moment when you can finally get a permanent position and finally have your family, basically. And so that's what I'm experiencing now. Yeah, at the moment, I'm doing some short-term contracts, some short-term contracts at university. As a lecturer. And so that problem will be a concern for both women and men, but I think it's a bigger concern for women because of the pressure we have to get pregnant and then look after the kids and look after the home in general. And because there is a bad gender repartition of the how to say, I mean, all these tasks are not
division.
Yeah, they are not shared equally between men and women. And I think for women, I mean, we have to do choices that men don't have to do. And from my point of view as a woman, I know I have to choose between professional life or familial life, because right now they are not compatible because of this precarity and this difficulty to get a stable job as a researcher. And I think if I was a guy, maybe I would be able to focus on my career, because my partner would be looking after the material and family and home concerns. And yeah, so that's yeah, basically my my contribution today. I mean, from my point of view as a researcher at the beginning of her career.
Thank you so much, Maureen, because it is also important to listen to the researchers who are at the beginning of their career. We know the obstacles are higher at the beginning stage, and
yeah. I mean, I guess France is just reflecting the global context, but the careers are getting harder and harder to. It's getting harder and harder to get a permanent position in a French university.
So good luck in your future career as well.
Thank you.
Please let us know if you need any support to help you to improve in your career as well, because we are always here. I guess one of the most important tasks, becoming a member in IASA, we have to support each other. Or
Yeah.
any gender division, or we are all equal, and we would like to encourage and support and help and motivate it, because we have lots of breakthrough in this process of academia, and we came to a point to give up because we made several problems or some big obstacles, and we sometimes I also think I cannot overcome this and it is enough. But then we need some support and some psychological, emotional also, to listen, to share. And I think this what we are doing now is a kind of also sharing the things what is going on in our countries or in the world. It's a kind of therapy as well, because we need to listen to each other. And we find really rare occasions, and because we are all busy, we need to deal with so many tasks. We have to take care of home, and we hardly find time, such valuable times to listen to each other. And so I would like to thank you again for all of you to spend your time and to be with us here. And Simona, would you like to share your opinion as well from a different perspective?
Thank you. Thank you for organizing this meeting, and thank you for asking to me. Actually, I'm a master's student, and but I'm ready to become my research path. And I study online, so far I didn't face a lot of difficulties. And actually, to be honest, well, I work with a female professor. She's very nice. But I also made contacts with a lot of male professors, because it's true, whatever I find online about research, etc., is made by men. I mean, the signature is made, as Madhuri was saying, a lot of works, no? And but they were very nice with me. So far, I didn't find any obstacle problems, but I noticed that we are less considerated. But as Tamara was saying, is that we approach things from a different point of view and different perceptions. So for us, it's not important to be at the top. It's important to do a good job, and it's important to have passion, to love what we do. And we are also open, to be, let me pass the word behind, if it is useful to reach the goal, because we are different in a good way. Okay, so I noticed that men, they have, as Tamara was saying, they have a different feeling and a different behavior. But things are changing, thanks to you, well, thanks to us. And I'm happy to join a research family, and I hope I can do a lot together with men, of course. So thank you very much for being here as a support, because I think I will need it. Thanks.
Thank you for your comments and opinions as well. And Marika, it is also nice to see you. And would you like to talk about that through your experiences or?
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Sorry for I was running this a little technical problem at the beginning, so I came a little late, but I apologize. Yes, I think it's very important to see it from a little bit also different cultural background, because I lived 10 years in Canada, and now I'm in Europe, in European Union, and I can compare how is it also in academia. And I heard some information from Marine, for example, about tenure track positions and so on. In Canada, it doesn't matter if you are man or woman, if you are full professor or associate professor and you fulfill requirements, you get tenure track position. So it means you can teach till the age of 65 fully, and you are not, you can't be just transferred to some different position or something like that. But in, let's say in Slovakia, which is part of European Union, maybe similar in our neighbor countries, I don't know, Hungary, Czech Republic, Poland, I don't know, maybe France, but I tell you my experience, how is it here? A couple, maybe 10 years ago, maybe even longer, there was some change in academia, and now I can also focus on women later, that even associate professor or full professor doesn't have a tenure track position. So every 2, 3, 5 years, I don't know how long they have the contract, they have to apply again for position, and somebody decides if you are staying or not. And I'll tell you what happens at our faculty. I'm now in research at Žilina University, at research center I work, but I'm very happy because this is a better position and even better paid position. But our faculty, former faculty of Humanities, for 2 years we had already a dean, a lady dean. We have only 2 ladies as deans at Technical University in Žilina, because there are 8 faculties and they are mostly technically focused. So our Humanities faculty and 1 more faculty has a woman as a dean. And our dean doesn't, she doesn't have even associate professorship degree, not even professorship degree. And during 2 years of her activity at faculty, maybe 3 professors left, 3 associate professors left. And the reason some of them left faculty because they didn't like the job, or she didn't prolong the contract of these people. And she hired doctoral students to teach. She hired older people over 70 years old or 68 years old to teach. So I don't look at this in academia so much as men and women, but as how the system is prepared, how the system works, how people, if competent people are in power. So if there would be a competent man, I think some associate professor or professor, maybe the situation would be much better. But on the other side, I'm very thankful to Slovakian government, Ministry of Education. Now, European Union is pushing to some reform in Slovakian academic system, and there will be changes. So there will be many changes in this system, and especially the power of academic senate, which was very criticized. You have senate with people who are mostly devoted to vote for you, or students who are not, who cannot say they cannot refuse. So they are manipulated. So now there will be many changes, and I am very in favor of changes also for women, because we have many capable women in academia, also in tourism. I'm in favor of any changes, and this is what I see. It's not so much about women and men, it's about capability or not capability. And I have this personal, my personal experience, but no, I lost a couple of very good colleagues, full professor of philosophy, full professor of pedagogy. Then we had some people in marketing who left, associate professors, doesn't matter, men or women. So I just, and when you discuss about this students in tourism and women in tourism, or girls studying tourism, in Slovakia we have most girls studying tourism, not boys. Mostly women are interested in this job, and even they are employed in this area of business. And yesterday, we have such, for example, yesterday I discussed with our neighbor here when I was leaving from my work, when I was coming home, and her daughter works for Siemens in Bratislava, and I asked about her, and it's quite normal. Her husband is from Spain, and they live in Bratislava, and they are both employees of Siemens. And she makes more money, so she works from home, and husband, the Spanish husband, is on maternity leave. So in Slovakia, we have this. It's quite obvious, and there are some women who are better paid sometimes can work, and men can stay at home with maternity leave. It's in Canada is totally different. Of course, Canada is even more women focused. Gender is a little bit. It's even more in attention of government, and I could see differences in some way, but not such big differences between Europe and Canada in some way. I don't know. I just wanted at the end to say that we have also our president is a woman, and recently also Hungarian president was elected, a lady, very nice lady. And so as a woman don't suffer, even they say on TV that we make less money than men. But I don't think so, because I make right now more money than my husband, a full professor. So I don't see such differences so much, but I see I feel a little bit problem in this system, in education, academia. I want to say.
Thank you so much, Marika, for your valuable opinion as well. And in that sense, I think we listen most of our female colleagues. Now I'm wondering as well, Ali and Piotr's comments about that. Would you like to add or share your opinions?
Piotr, you can start.
Okay.
Then I will add something.
Okay. Let me tell you about my motivation to be with you today. Yes, I feel privileged as a man, and as a privileged individual, I can't see the areas of this of my how in what areas I am really privileged. Because I am privileged. So I came here to learn about the real situation and just to think about it. So I feel like a student because I am aware of the problem, but sometimes being aware and feeling the problem is totally different. So yes, I'm still learning. Yes, I feel that especially tourism academia is a female. I feel great working with females and women. For me, it's a normal thing, and that's why I know that I have to learn about this issue. So this is my motivation to hear about gender studies, to hear about situation of my female colleagues in academia, because I'm not an expert on it, but I want to hear more and more about it. And I think that you've got my full support, because I think that women are more motivated, female are more innovative, because they have to try harder than, for example, me. So this is the objective reason of being innovative. So I think that I want to cooperate with you on that issue, but I am for you and I want to follow your advices, because I will never be an expert on it. I will be always a student in this topic, and I feel even privileged that you can speak with us about this problem. And that's all. I am sorry, because today I've got so busy day that in 6 minutes I have to join to another meeting. We are running through accreditation process in my university, and some things are not more important, but more current.
Yeah. Thank you for your time and participation, but still it will be live on YouTube, etc. Later you can listen to the rest of the webinar. Thank you for your thoughts, Piotr.
Thank you for inviting me, Kester. Thank you very much.
Yes, Ali and...
Okay. Thank you so much for very interesting discussion today. I try to be very fast. Firstly, I really believe that this world is more difficult for female in compared with male. This is a reality. It's not just in academic area, in everything. The second is I'm so happy that being a member of this family in ITSA, because here we really don't have any privilege, and because of this, I think it's one of the pioneer organization, maybe in the whole of the world. I think. Then I want to go back to my experience in Iran, and I'm gonna explain about the situation. Negatively, I want to say there are some of the same problem, not just for the females, also for the males who think in different way from the person who are in the decision position. That is out of our today talk. But in general, I think the direction here in Iran is really positive. If you compare the situation with 30 years ago, when we went to the university, Mona explained, in that time, I think the maximum 50% of the students were ladies. And even in the postgraduate level, maybe less than 10%. At the moment, in general, the number of the female students is more than male, maybe 55 to 45. In postgraduate, is a big difference, because 70% of the postgraduate students are ladies. And honestly, they are more active, based on my experience through teaching in postgraduate level for recent 10 years. And they are more active, more looking for the opportunities. So I'm sure in the long time, everything is going to change. Because the number, for example, 40 years ago, the number of academic members here was around, the ladies was around 1.5%. At the moment, it's 30%. And I'm sure that during the next maybe decades, I'm sure the lady is going to the higher position, even in Iran, and I'm sure about it will happen about the other countries. Some of you talk about the having babies or being involved with families, this kind of challenge. But we have a different challenge here, because most of postgraduated are, I'm talking about the female, they don't like to marry, they don't like to have the baby. And so it is a big challenge for the government now, because the ladies became more graduated in compared with 30 years ago, and they have different understanding with, for example, their mothers or the previous generation. Still it's for us, example, for Mona is here. I'm sure that Mona is really more involved with the money's problem, for sure. But for the next generation in Iran, I'm not sure we have the same problem. I want to say 2 or 3 experiences of mine. Firstly, both of us, Mona and I, have been teaching at a university, in a big university in Tehran, as invited lecturer, just because of the lady who was the head of the faculty. And exact last semester or last semester, when she left the faculty, both of us left the faculty, because we are not happy with the new ideas of the person who come. This is show that so there are some potential there. Even the head of faculty, even the head of the postgraduate center was one of my classmates from the university. She was also the lady this both lady was the main reason why both of us been there for 10 years to teach. And suddenly when they left, we left also. I have last week we have the Viva for postgraduate students, both of us, and I remember that one of them famous lecturer in the faculty is a very nice guy, but an old man, and he said that honestly I have to leave the advisory position of the master degree and leave it for the new generation. And who were the new generation who taught the ladies? And Mona, Dr. Nabavi, I don't know, 2 or 3 other ladies that I remember that. And this is one of the reasons that I said that why the next generation would be have a different understanding with us. And so in the last experience, I'm working with some international project recently in Iran, and everyone who worked with the project are ladies, even in the embassies, even in the universities, even in the organization, and I'm the only man there. So I'm thinking with myself that in some countries similar to me, that basically we are conservative, nation. I know that everything is going to change, but in general, still we are a conservative nation. But we are really changed. We are really changed, and I hope it happened everywhere in the world. Thank you so much for the invitation, letting me to share my experience.
Thank you, Ali. It is also important to hear your words and to support each other, as always I said. And Enrico, would you like to also say something? And thank you for also organizing this event, because it is actually Enrico's idea to do something, and then we came up with that idea to arrange a webinar. Actually, it is also an excuse to meet you all again.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Kevza. I think that we should take any available moment to discuss about all the problems that are related to a career of a woman in academy, because we don't talk about those problems enough. And to solve a problem, we have to highlight it before. So it's good to talk and take the time to talk about those problems. I'm happy enough to have all you and other women in the association and to collaborate with everybody. And it's a very pleasure. And I wanted only to I wanted to say two things. For the future of the association, I would really endorse that a woman will be the president next time. And Kevser knows it because I'm talking about it all the time. For me, it's not enough. You have to take responsibility roles everywhere and even in the association. And the second thing is an historical fact. As you know, I came from I have a philosophical background, and in the ancient Greeks, the goddess of knowledge was Athena, and so she was a goddess, and she's still considered the goddess of the university and any way of the wisdom of the world in the ancient Greek. But I think it was a good message to give to males of that time, that the wisdom, while the rage and the emotion were related to men, the wisdom and the knowledge were related to women. And so that's something we should take back in our days, and to remember to everybody that it could be better to have a shared world where I'm not saying that women are better than men or men are better than women, but in the future, I would never say again that the difference is related to the sex, but to the nature of the person. So you have good women, good men, bad women, bad men, and that's the nature of people. So I'd like not to have a difference about sex, but about nature of people. And thank you again for being here today. It's been a very insightful little conference, and I'm glad to meet you again online. And I hope everybody will be with us in Hungary for next year. I don't know if Tamara wants to talk a bit about that, but she's one of the hosts of the next conference, and I hope everybody will come to Hungary. Thank you very much, Kevser.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for your points and comments as well. Tamara, would you like to say something as well?
Yes, I would like to say actually two things. One is a comment as I was listening, since I was the first one who started speaking, and then I was listening to all of you. And then I really started thinking about it, that yes, there are lots of obstacles or lots of issues, but in academics in general. But like Marin said, that these usually affect male and female researchers. Maybe not to the same extent, but if you think about a male researcher who is living on their own, they also have to provide all the material conditions. So it's not necessarily that much more different for women. But yes, of course, it depends on the person. Like Enrico said, that sometimes this. Some of the obstacles, not all of them, because there are institutional obstacles, but some of these obstacles seem to come from our head. Like Kevser, you said that tourism is not necessarily considered an attractive career for young women. So there is the influence of the family and society. Someone else said that, well, like I said at the beginning, that I wasn't really sure if I was good enough for doing a certain job. Nobody told me I wasn't. It came from me. Mm-hmm. Or the like Madhuri said, that young researchers or PhD students are thinking about whether they will have enough citations, as opposed to just being really interested in that particular topic. So we got all this outside influence that we should somehow take into consideration, measure whether they are really important, all these voices that come from outside. And I think for us, for a little bit more senior. I still don't consider myself very senior, but a little bit more senior tourism academics, what we can do is to encourage the younger generation to think independently, you know, and then, like I said, consider all the advice, but then make their own decisions, and then give them the support what we can, but without excluding the men. Because I'm sure you have also seen that, yes, traditionally, if you look at the list of keynote speakers at conferences, yes, traditionally they used to be white male. But sometimes now there is this complete opposite, that some conference organizers are actually very proud of having an all-female keynote. And I don't like that either. I mean, it should be based on merit, like Enrico said. It doesn't matter if, it shouldn't really matter whether you are male or female. It should be whether you are good or not. So yeah, so we could, as women, we could also, or female academics, we could also make sure that this balance is really maintained. Anyway, yeah, so that was my comment. And yes, of course, about the conference, it's being organized. Yes, so we are very much looking forward to seeing you. Enrico, is there any chance that I could talk to you after this meeting for about the administrative, the financial part? But yes, you are all very welcome, and I hope you are going to come. If you have any questions about anything, then let us know. Yeah, the program is shaping up. We will have 2 male and 2 female keynote speakers to make sure that there is a balance. So yeah, it's going to be good.
Thank you so much, Tamara, and thank you for everybody. And also, I would like to add something. Normally, there are lots of issues we can discuss in terms of women in academia, in terms of gender stereotypes and the problems in women leadership, and how we move in the future, the new scenario, the new approach about women's leadership. But since we don't have enough time for this, I think to sum up, since most of us are in academia, we have really important responsibilities and duties, as many of you said. We have to, even this training should start from not just in academia, also starting from maybe primary school, secondary school. We need to teach the students, all the individuals, you know, to fight against some stereotypes, gender stereotypes or biases among different people, because I would like to also mention some significant obstacles for women, sometimes for men, particularly because of different colors, because of different ethnic groups, or because of different religion. This is also something, you know, it affected a lot, because when we look at such people, different colors, ethnic groups, or religious groups, they have to prove themselves even more, because they're often viewed some bias. They think they cannot manage it, they cannot succeed it enough, and so such people have to work even more and more and more to prove that they can do, or they can manage in the same way with the others. Like Tamara said, white males, or, you know, so we also need to fight against such stereotypes, such biases as well. This is one of the important issues, I guess. And if we all together have this awareness, and I think we will make a strong change in the society and in the community as well. And yeah, actually, if you have some other opinions or suggestions, we can also have some minutes, 15 minutes before closing. We can listen it. Also, it is important from what Madhuri mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, we have to do something to encourage more research work in terms of women in academia issues, etc. I think one of our concrete results of the webinar, we can start thinking some collaborative research topics we could work in cross-cultural term about one of these issues. And it is really very welcome if you have some ideas to work together. You can send emails to the group and we can share it with the EATSA. And then, yeah, we can proceed. At least if we can manage to publish 1, 2, 3 papers, collaborative papers, it would be something that we can contribute to.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. You know, like this is what I was looking for. I will definitely put on in a mail, maybe in the coming days, and we can work on some topics. And there are many, you know, like here we are not going to differentiate about only women are working. You know, Enrico, Ali, Pietro, he has left. Everybody can come together and work on that. And I really agree with Marine and the young Simona. They are young researchers, and if you need any help, we are there for you. I assure you that. And I would like to tell Dr. Ali that you are talking like, you know, about women, you're talking all good things about women, but we also want to hear the other things, right? So it is always not necessary to praise women in such forum. You can also have your particular views about the negative part, so that, you know, we can think about it. Like Pietro said, he has come to just listen and just learn about what issues women are having. Here we are also here to listen. What are your views about women? Whether it is positive, negative, everything is welcome, right? And we can also work accordingly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, any other opinions before closing the webinar?
Kevser, I want to suggest maybe you can make a special issue on the journal on that.
Yeah, we can also think about that, and
but it could be very comprehensive. It's not just about the women in academic, but in general about the women in professional area, academics, in the education, in everything related to the ladies, about the issues. I don't know. Maybe you can make an invitation to everyone. Maybe they have some idea. I don't know.
Yeah, also we need to think about that, and about the journal. Yes, a journal. I would like to share one information. Madhuri will take the responsibility as editor-in-chief in April or towards the end of April. So we will share with you the.
Yeah, but may I? Sorry, we have just 5 minutes. I want to say because every time we talk with Mona, maybe this is I have a chance to talk about the issue with Mona many times. This is the reason I'm here. Maybe I don't know. So, but I want to say that Mona can approve it. When I was in a position just 2 or 3 years ago, I start to put ladies in a higher position. And it would be a big surprise for me that the exact ladies was against that. That organization is a big organization, and they came to my office and same in private that why you select these ladies. She's not a good person for this position. Mona can accept because she has the same experience. So as Madhuri said, to say positive and negative, I want to say some of the times the problems come from ladies, not just you know, it's based on our experience. Maybe the worst regulation about the ladies in Iranian parliament comes originally from the ladies there. You know, these are a real experience. I don't want to exaggerate it. You know, some of the problems I can say you a lot of examples about it. And Mona have the same problem with his position and her position, her job, not just in university, even in the professional area. And these are the problems that we need to talk about it, you know, because every time in my country, I said about my country, I don't know about anyway. Many times the ladies just thinking in their mind the problems comes from the male, the man. But is not real. Not real every time. I don't want, maybe many times, but not every time. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like this is what we want to hear, and we can take this into our research and we can come up with some good solutions, right? I think next time the organization should have the topics gender equality issues, right?
Yeah.
instead of only issues and challenges related to women. Let us do gender equality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have to do it. We have to think about that, and we have to make it happen. So Madhuri, we can talk about it later as well. And if there is any other ideas, suggestions, it is very welcome to share. Yes, Yanki.
Maybe we can also attract the researcher about this topic, is that by being a lecturer, women can travel around the world, to beautiful countries, learn colorful culture, and meet diverse people. And we women can be the good virus to the world. So we have to spread those positive vibes.
Yes, it is also a nice idea. we can do it. We can think all kinds of possibility to make it richer.
Something, I know I lived 10 years in Canada. I'm Canadian citizen as well as Slovak citizen. And I was just wondering, and still, when you apply in Canada for a job, they have requirements for such position, and then there is some written comment that Canadian citizens or landed immigrant status owners have priority to apply. Then visible minorities, then gays and lesbians, women, and no white male. So they think that white male are not, they are more prioritized, or they are offered better positions or something. So I was just wondering, because I talked to my husband, I said, you are white male, so I have probably better chance to get a job or something. No, it doesn't matter. But it's you can check in positions. Canada offers positions for even in academia, not only in government, academia. So you see, I don't agree that we have so much women into high positions. It depends if women or men are well qualified. Both are very, very well qualified. So then you have to decide. But it doesn't matter if you are from different part of countries of the world. If you are from Africa or India or I don't know, Asia, doesn't matter if you are very well prepared and qualified. Doesn't matter if you are man or woman or you are, your sexual orientation, it doesn't matter, I think. So I don't know, somehow we have a now meeting at Canadian Embassy, probably in Prague. I don't know if it will be personal meeting or online, but I'm a little bit, sometimes question myself if I have to ask people, but it's not very appropriate. But you are like family, Eartha, for me. So I'm just giving you this, my personal insight question. Why I don't understand it. So that's all that I wanted to share.
Thank you, Marika.
You're welcome.
So thank you all for attending again this webinar, and it is great to see you all. And I hope we can meet soon in another webinar to talk other issues. If you have some ideas arose later, we can also start another webinar. So we are open to any kind of ideas, suggestions. As I said, collaborative research papers. It is a great pleasure to share it and to see how we can contribute. So take care and stay strong in such hard moments. We need each